I've been selling real estate for 10 years, just over 10 years. And over the span of my career, when working with sellers, I have found there are about 7 common mistakes that home sellers make when preparing their home for sale. And unfortunately, when I see these mistakes starting to happen, I know that the seller is about to start wasting their time and it could cost them thousands of dollars in the end. And so every time I go in to list a home, it's always important for me to try to educate and help prepare sellers for the things that are most important when preparing your home for sale. And listen, we know, dealing with sellers is different because there is many times a sentimental attachment to the home. Sellers have been in the home for 20 years, 30 years. They've raised their kids there. They've have memories there, family get-togethers and whatnot. And so, there may be items in the home or locations in the home that carry so much sentimental value that the home seller cares about and nobody else in the world puts value on except the home seller, right? And so it's really, really difficult sometimes for home sellers to prepare their home properly because they're looking at it through the lens of their home ownership over the past 20, 30, 40 years, however long they've been there. And so these 7 mistakes, we do our best to just prepare home sellers for and to ensure that we avoid these mistakes so that our clients can get the most amount of money in the least amount of time. And really that's the goal. And one of the most common mistakes I would say is, or I would say probably the most common out of the 7 is not preparing the home for sale with the buyer's perspective. Okay. And what do I mean by that? Instead of focusing on the home seller and how they see the home, uh, what are the items that the buyer is going to look for when they are analyzing your home? Buyers in your area. And we can say, any home buyer is going to want to have assurance that the home that they're buying is in good condition, right? And if it's not in good condition, they want to have their questions answered. How much is it going to cost to fix? And how long is it going to take? Okay. And if those questions are not answered, then guess what? Your home will be sitting on the market longer than it should, right? And so many homeowners, for example, we work with a seller and we'll get a property inspection, and there's hundreds of items on that inspection, right? And we see sometimes the homeowner almost it takes a shot at their pride to learn that this home inspector came into their home and said the door handle leading to the pantry is loose. And so the homeowner is, I'm going to fix that, and they go and they get their screwdriver and they're there trying to screw it in and tighten it up and they find out that it's stripped. Oh no, it's stripped. All right, I need to fix it. How do I fix it? So they're on YouTube and there's an item that they can get at the local, Home Depot or hardware store. So they go to the hardware store, they come back, they try to fix it, and that item doesn't fit for their door handle, and so now they got to go back to Home Depot the next day and return that item. And then they decide, you know what, I'll just call a professional and we'll get this squared away. And that professional can't come out to the home for another 3 or 4 days, and before you know it, the homeowner has focused on insignificant items. A week has gone by, 2 weeks have gone by, and the insignificant items have taken up so much time and so much effort and even maybe a little bit of money, when those items actually are not going to bring the return or help the homeowner get the most amount of money for the home. And so it is really important to really know and understand your local demographic of buyer in regards to what is the criteria that is most important to your area's buyers. And when you prepare your home, focus on those things and those things only. In general, those are easy things to know about, maybe not easy things to take on, but in general, buyers are looking at items that they have no clue about, roof, foundation, plumbing, electrical. And like I said, if there are issues with them, you can still get a good price for your home as long as you're providing the buyer the answer to the questions that they are going to have. How much is it going to cost? How long is it going to take to fix? If you're providing the answers and making sure that there's no mystery with your home when they buy it, you're going to get a good price. You'll get, multiple bidders. I mean, there's a lot of factors as well, other mistakes that sellers make, but this is just one, making sure to focus on preparing your home with the buyer's perspective, okay? And it's hard to do sometimes, it really is. Another great example, buyers, the question every buyer asks before they start their home search is in regards to financing. What are the buyer's financing options? So you can go online right now and look up homes for sale in your neighborhood. And I bet you will be hard pressed to find a home that is advertising financing options for buyers when they buy that home. How come? That should be almost the first line or somewhere in the description of every home for sale. When a buyer buys your home, what are their financing options that are better and different that they can't get from the home down the street? Because that is their number one question. The number one criteria when buyers begin their search online is the price. Why? Because they have the interest rate, they talk to a lender, they're feeling like these payments are going to be too much, but they need to move for some reason. And financing is number one on buyers' minds. So when you sell your home, in addition to all the wonderful features of the home, one of the main features that sellers don't even think about is the financing. What is the buyer's financing options when they buy your home? You should be advertising that and letting buyers know. So again, focusing on a buyer's perspective, going in depth on that and catering to their eye and to their concerns, that is going to help you sell fast and for the most amount of money in the least amount of time. And so every time we prepare a home for sale, we go over these 7 common mistakes with our sellers, and we have a 9-step system to ensure we avoid these mistakes and get our sellers the most amount of money in the least amount of time. And so listen, this report, we give it to our clients every time. It's absolutely free. If you are thinking about preparing your home for sale, if you got questions on what items to focus on, and most importantly, what not to focus on, and if you want to ensure to avoid making these common mistakes that I've seen in the last 10 years, feel free to call, text, DM us, and I'll make sure to send you this report absolutely free. Just good information to have when preparing your home for sale.